Listed on the wall are all the popes ever since St. Peter built the Church of Rome.
Angelo Giuseppe Roncalli became Supreme Pontiff after a long diplomatic career. As Pope, he took the name of John the 23rd and immediately declared his desire to be pastor of the whole flock. He made dialogue the foundation of his brief but intense papacy. Consequently, he undertook relations with the Patriarch of Constantinople and promoted the constitution of a body that would be responsible for relations with non-Catholic churches and creeds. His papacy is remembered above all for Vatican II, the ecumenical council that opened on the 11th of October 1962. It was the symbol of a worldwide vision of the Church, true to doctrine and open to the problems of humanity. The same spirit is evident in his encyclicals. He is universally remembered as the good Pope, much beloved by the people of the Church for his profound and touching humanity. The time of the Council coincided with the tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union that led to the Cuban crisis, but the Pope succeeded in mediating between the two sides. Pope John the 23rd died in 1963. Pope Francis proclaimed him saint on the 27th of April, 2014.
Elected Pope with the name of Pius XII in a very short conclave on the 2nd of March 1939. He led the Church in one of the darkest moments of recent history, the outbreak of the Second World War. His speeches on the radio revealed the animosity of the Holy See towards the Third Reich. In the face of Hitler's aggressive policies, the Holy See reacted with meaningful silence and attempted to react as that was possible. On the 19th of July 1943, after the violent bombing of the district of San Lorenzo in Rome, the Pope was the only figure of authority who visited the site to provide assistance and comfort. That same year, the Jewish community of Rome succeeded in rapidly collecting 35 of the 50 kilos of gold demanded by the Nazis in payment for not deporting them. Pius XII, to whom the Jews had turned for help, contributed the other 15 kilos. The gesture was, however, useless. A few days after consignment of the gold, on the 16th of October 1943, the Nazis raided the ghetto and the consequences were tragic. When the King of Italy fled from Rome, Pius XII faced the Nazi occupation of the city alone, becoming the Defensor Civitatis, or defender of the city, on behalf of all Romans. At the end of the war, the chief rabbi of Rome, Israel Zolli, thanked the pontiff for having saved so many Jews.
Elected in 1922, Achille Ratti took the name of Pius XI. He guided the Church under the constraint of the dictatorships of Mussolini, Hitler, Franco, and Stalin. He was the Pope of conciliation between the Holy See and the Italian state. His political and diplomatic efforts led to the signing of the Lateran Treaty in February 1929. This recognized the birth of the Vatican City-State and regulated its relations with the Italian state. In 1937, in his encyclical Mit brennender Sorge, the Pope firmly condemned racism and anti-Semitism. After enactment of the racist laws in Italy, Pius XI had the courage to declare, "Spiritually, we are all Semites," and Mussolini replied, threatening serious measures against him. Then the Pope sent out a condemnation of racism, ultranationalism, totalitarianism, and communism to all Catholic universities. When Hitler visited Rome, the pontiff refused to receive him. He closed the Vatican museums and moved to Castel Gandolfo. In 1939, he died, leaving the Church in an uneasy climate that soon led to the outbreak of the Second World War.
Giacomo della Chiesa of Genoa was Pope with the name of Benedict XV. His papacy coincided with the outbreak of the First World War, which he referred to as a useless massacre. Behind a position criticized as being too neutral, the Holy See undertook negotiations with the states involved in the conflict, to the point that its well-focused and incisive efforts led to the Church being called to be the arbiter of war issues.
In the middle of the papal palace is a square where the Pope's previous cars are parked.